Take a look at world maps. Africa looks kind of small, right? Almost the same size as Greenland or Australia. But here's the truth. Africa is massive, over 30 million square kilometers, big enough to fit the US, China, and India inside with room to spare. So why does it look so tiny? It's not just a mapping quirk. The way we draw maps has shaped perceptions of Africa's power and potential for centuries. As a geomatics engineer, I have seen how these distortions can subtly downplay Africa's economic and political significance. In this video, we will uncover why our maps shrink Africa, how they are made, and what happens when we see the continent's true scale. Ready to rethink the world? Let's dive in. And if you love eye-opening geography, hit that subscribe button. Let's get the facts straight. Africa spans 30.3 million square kilometers, which is 7.7 million square miles. It's the second largest continent, home to 54 countries and over 1.4 billion people. You could fit the United States, China, India, Japan, and most of Europe inside it and still have space left. That's a landmass rich with resources, markets, and economic potential. But on most maps, Africa looks small. Sometimes it's shown as roughly the same size as Greenland, which is 14 times smaller. Why the mismatch? It's all about how we flatten a round planet into a 2D map, a process that has been skewing perceptions of Africa's importance for centuries. We view maps on flat, 2D surfaces like a phone, a laptop screen, or paper. But the Earth is a sphere. Turning a 3D globe into a 2D map is like trying to flatten an orange peel. It stretches or tears. Cartographers use map projections to solve this. They project the Earth's surface onto shapes like a cylinder or plane, then unroll them into a map. The most famous is the Mercator projection, created in 1569 by Geraldus Mercator. It wraps a cylinder around the Earth at the equator, preserving angles and directions, perfect for sailors using a compass. Geraldus Mercator's map was really critical during the sailing times. It was so easy to navigate and it really served the purpose. But here is the catch. The farther you move from the equator, the more the map stretches. Areas near the poles, like Greenland or Scandinavia, get massively exaggerated. Equatorial regions like Africa get compressed. In actual sense, they don't really get compressed but remain with their true scale, while the areas near the poles get stretched and giving an illusion of Africa or areas near the equator being compressed. On a Mercator map, Greenland looks as big as Africa, even though Africa is 14 times larger. This distortion doesn't just shrink Africa's size, it can make its vast economic resources and markets seem less significant. So why are we still using a 400-year-old map that shrinks Africa? First, the Mercator was revolutionary for navigation. Its straight lines helped sailors plot ocean routes, making it a staple map for centuries. Second, it's practical for tech. Modern digital maps like Google Maps use a modified Mercator because it's easier to code for zooming and GPS navigation. Third, it's familiar. We've grown up with the Mercator maps in schools, on TV, and in atlases. Africa looking small and Europe looking large feels normal, but is not accurate. Now, let's talk politics. During the colonial era, European powers used maps like Mercator's to project dominance. It was published in books, and considering that it was meant for navigation and was really useful then, it stuck with us. By inflating the size of Europe and shrinking Africa, these maps, intentionally or not, made colonized regions seem less significant. This visual bias suggested Africa was smaller, less resource rich, and less economically vital than it truly was. At least most Africans, if not all, believed that Africa was really smaller than it really is. And even today, that is still a challenge, even with this great technology that exists. Consider this: Africa holds 17% of the world's population, but is often portrayed as contributing only a fraction to the global economy. In reality, its natural resources like cobalt, gold, and rare earth minerals power global industries, from smartphones to renewable energy. Its growing markets like Nigeria's tech sector or Ethiopia's manufacturing boom are reshaping the global trade. Yet, the marketer's distortion can subtly reinforce outdated stereotypes, making Africa's economic potential seem smaller than it is. Maps aren't neutral, they are tools that shape how we value entire continents. The evil marketer is not evil in a villainous way. In any case, it has helped geographers and navigators for a very long time, but now it is time we change that. Thankfully, cartographers have developed maps that tell a fairer story. Considering that the marketer projection preserves shapes, let's look at other projection that prioritizes accurate area. We have the Gall-Peters projection and the equal Earth projection, just to mention a few. In the Gall-Peters projection, Africa looks massive as it should. The trade-off: shapes get stretched near the poles, so countries like Canada look skinny. It's not perfect, but it's honest about scale. The Equal Earth projection, launched in 2018, balances accurate area with recognizable shapes. Africa takes center stage as a continental giant. These maps don't just correct size, they challenge economic misconceptions. Africa's true scale reflects its vast resources and markets. For example, it holds 30% of the world's mineral resources and a consumer market projected to reach $2 trillion by 2030. Try this yourself on the True Size Of website. Drag the US or Greenland over Africa and see the reality for yourself. It's a game changer. Now that we've debunked why Africa looks small, let's celebrate its true size. Africa spans 30.3 million square kilometers, home to 54 nations, over 1.4 billion people, and countless cultures and histories. Economically, it's a titan, powering global supply chains with minerals, agriculture, and innovation. From Lagos' booming fintech scene to Ethiopia's green energy projects, from the ancient trade routes of Timbuktu to Nairobi's silicon savannah, Africa is shaping the future. When we see the true size of a map, we start to recognize its true economic and cultural power. A continent that is not just big, but essential.